Hey everybody, it's Dave Dugdale, learningvideo.com. I got a question on my color matching course, which I thought I'd answer. And it's basically how to isolate the chart. All you see is the chart on the scope, and it makes it a lot easier when you're trying to find the chart when you see a whole bunch of other things in the video signal. On the left here, we have the Panasonic GH4. On the right, we have the Sony a6500. And let's just go ahead, and I'm going to show you two different ways to do this. The first one is the one I use all the time. There's another way it's not as effective, and I'll kind of show you why. So I'm basically going to go to the color tab, and if you're unfamiliar of how to get side-by-side images like what we have here, go check the link down below. I'll link to the tutorial on how I got to this point. So I'm going to click on the color tab, and what we've got here is the top track, which is V2, is the Sony on the right, and V1 is the Panasonic on the left. So we'll start with the Sony, since it's the activated track. And I'm just going to go down here to where it says sizing, click on that, and then it probably defaults to input sizing, but I want you to go to edit sizing. Now you can see we've already done a left crop already when I was setting these two images side by side. I'm just going to take the right and move it on over. Now if it's moving too fast, you don't have fine enough control, release the dot that you're moving with your mouse and then click inside the box where the numbers are, and then you can have much finer control. Go ahead and do the top, do the bottom, and then we're going to activate the track V1, which is the Panasonic, and just basically do the same thing. Let's go ahead and bring in the left. There we go. Bring in the right. And bring the top, bottom, and now I'm just going to activate the scopes, and then you can see that we've got the chart here and the chart here. So now it becomes much easier. So for instance, let's say you wanted to match up the highlights. So I'm just going to do that really quickly. I'm going to go to let's say that I think that this works fine for this particular camera. This is up around 95, 96 IRE on the white patch that you see here. I'm just going to kind of do the same thing first on the Panasonic. So I'm just going to bring up the signal like that. And you can see we've got kind of a, I don't know, what is that, a cyan push in the highlights. So it's a little bit, you see the red channel is kind of lowered. So I'm basically going to go to the Panasonic, and I'm just going to kind of push the red channel up like that until it becomes more of a white line. And that's kind of the first step in terms of matching the cameras. Is I usually will white balance for the highlights, the midtones, and the shadows, and get those matched up. And then we go into much greater detail in terms of the these patches, getting the contrast curve lined up, and that's what's really handy about these. And then we work on the colors. Now this way works pretty well, except for one thing, and that's basically when you want to start checking to see your progress. And it's kind of a pain, because if you use this method, and let's say we go back to this where it says sizing, and I clear it out using this circle on this one, and then I go onto the other track and I clear this one out as well. And then I'm just going to bring the left crop over, and we get rid of the scopes. Obviously all we've done was the white patch. We didn't do the white background or anything else, so they still look very different. There's a lot more work to do. But here, let me move the left crop over a little bit. Now the problem is like, okay, I'm making progress, but now I want to go back to where I was before. Well, you're going to have to do the right, the top, the bottom, and do it for both of them. So you're going to have to do that again. So you get 8 different things basically, which is kind of a pain. So there's a different way to do this, which has its own set of challenges. And so what I'm going to do is go to this tool right here. And this, if I hover over here long enough, it'll say window. And I usually grab the pen tool, and then I just start drawing around the chart with the pen tool. And what's great about this is if I hit this button right here, highlight, it just shows the chart. So when I bring up the scopes, you see we just have the chart. And if I turn the highlight off, we see the whole full video signal, and then we just see the isolated window of the video signal there, and you can make your adjustments. And what's great about this too is I could go and say grab still, and then I'd relax the highlight, for instance. And then I could go down to this track, V1, and then I could say apply the grade, which will apply this, and I could just kind of move it over. And then hit this button, and I could do the same thing for this chart. This kind of works. The big problem with it is when you, here I'm going to turn the scopes off, is when you add multiple nodes. And how I teach the course is that we usually have like maybe five or six nodes, each one doing a separate thing. So you could see your progress. You could do it all in one node if you wanted to, but the problem is if I go like this and I create a new node, watch what happens. Boom, you've kind of lost it. So it's not as clean as doing it the other way, but the other way has its disadvantages. You can't check as you're going. Now, again, like I said before, I am no Resolve expert. So if there's anybody out there that knows of another way to do this, definitely let me know, because this is something I do a lot when I shoot with two different cameras and I have to match them in post, like when you're working on interview. All right, that's pretty much it. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.